Hi, this is Sage of the Stage. I'm a vocal coach, musician, singer, songwriter, and thank for being here. Thank for clicking on this video. I really mean that. It really means a lot. I'm kind of in a very weird place right now, creatively and everything, with everything happening in the world, in Ukraine, and with this war with Russia and everything. I feel a bit bad, just a bit bad making videos like these, like reaction videos and stuff like that, because I'm not really sure if that's the thing that I should be doing right now. I feel kind of bad because I'm not doing more. I don't know what I could do for the people in Ukraine except pray. I really want this to be over, and it's not good for anybody in the world. And hell no, I don't want it to spread anywhere else. I mean, it's a really hard topic, and I'm gonna address it a bit more in the video later. But I just want to say that, do you want to watch these videos right now? How do you feel? I would like to know. Let me know in the comments. I mean, if these videos even help you cope with your day even a bit, then I'm super glad doing them. I mean, I enjoy doing them. I really do, especially Dimash that I'm going to talk about today. He always seems to bring joy to my heart when I'm listening to him, so I'm kind of hoping that he's going to do that again this time. But for some reason, I feel like maybe the world needs a bit of a break. I wouldn't like to stop. I would still like to pause, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I really need your thoughts here. Help me out. But today, I'm just going to do what I always do. And today, I'm going to talk about Dimash Kudaibergen singing a song called Ikanaide, which is a Japanese song, apparently, from the 20th Tokyo Jazz Festival. Now, I've heard amazing things about this song. I haven't listened to it by now. I know I'm kind of, late to the game, but, it's Dimash, so it's better to be late than never, right? So today, I'm listening to this song. Let's see how it goes and come along on the ride. Dude. Dimash, man, he has power. I don't mean power as in, I don't mean that he's belting here or anything like that. I just mean that he has this power to take us in to the song. I've never heard him singing this breathy before, and I've listened to a lot of his songs. This is definitely a bit of a different approach. It's Dimash is the only person I know that can sing this breathy and not make it sound like it lacks energy or like it lacks tone, which is very interesting because there's always this balance between tone and breath, like hearing the breath. I'm not talking about breath support right now. I'm talking about, hearing the air coming out of your mouth. And usually, if you hear more air coming out of your mouth than tone, that's not a good thing. That usually doesn't mean that it's too healthy. I mean, in popular singing, it's a bit different, but in classical singing, it's definitely not the thing that you want to do. Not very often, at least. But Dimash, somehow, for some crazy reason, he can manage to have just enough tone and just enough air coming out at the same time that it almost sounds perfectly balanced, like 50-50, which is so crazy and so, I think, hard to pull off. This is, it just feels confessional. I have no idea in the world like what he's singing about. It's in Japanese. I don't even know what the word means, Ikanaide, but man, the beginning, the instrumental, just strings, a bit of an acoustic guitar, I think, a couple of these, I'm not sure even what instruments in the beginning there were, but it's very meditative, very inspirational, so good. And this is the first time that I absolutely didn't know when to pause. I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to ruin the moment. So, I didn't want to pause it too much. But man, so far, this is very soft, very frontal. Dimash is just, I mean, when I say frontal, I don't mean that it's focused too much into the mask. It's okay. It's kind of a bit wired, just a bit, but it's, present. It sounds perfect. I don't know. Dimash. What can I say except Dimash? Let's continue. Okay, I'm gonna pause it here, but I'm going to return. Just this, that's like a vibrato, but at the same time, it's not. So vibrato is when you're singing one note and you have this vibrating tone, like on one note. But here he's actually singing two notes, but he's singing them so softly and so slow that it almost sounds like a very slow vibrato, which is interesting. You don't hear that very often. It's like a beautiful, I don't know, spicy note. Oh, and the perfect thing that he does here is he goes just a bit further away from the mic. So, he does a bit of that dynamic work. He starts a bit more frontal, which makes your tone a bit louder. And as you go a bit behind the mic, backwards, it makes it sound more in the distance. And it sounds so beautiful. Almost like, I don't know, like an elf singing for some reason. Beautiful. Just a perfect tone. Because this is the chorus, I'm going to stop at this part. So here he's going a bit more operatic. First, he was very soft. He was kind of playing around. He was not even, he wasn't producing too much tone. I said 50-50. Now he's pushing it a bit more, giving us more tone than breath. So here he's about, maybe, I don't know, I'm talking in, like percentages, but it's maybe not the best way to talk a bit about it like that. But let's say that this is, I don't know, maybe 80% tone, only 20% breath, even less breath coming out. So even less air here that you can hear here. But what's interesting is that when he starts singing in a more operatic way, he's shaping his mouth in a very particular way. So focus on that and just see like it's very O-shaped. And he's kind of even going like, he's making it it feels like it's a bit stiff, but I don't think it is, because it wouldn't sound that good if it's stiff. But he's really making a very interesting facial expression like this. And it gives him kind of that a bit more metallic quality of the voice. So listen and you will hear it. In later words, he opens his mouth even more to get a bit of that more vibrato, very frontal vibrato, and then he switches it up to head voice. So I'm going to point it out as he sings. So watch his mouth here. Just look at it like this, you know? And it gives him that kind of quality that I really love. And that's, I don't know, that's always a Dimash sound that's something that I just connect to him only. So opened up. Oh, sorry, even this today, you know, it felt like kind of like, what's the word? Like yearning, like, you know, like he died for a second. So this is what I want to say. He's singing an E sound, but his mouth is shaped like the way you shape it when you want to say an O, when you want to sing an O vowel, which is very interesting. That's what I say to my students as well. Sometimes you need to round these vowels up, and often especially for E, because E tends to sound a bit more sharper. E is very, you know, like, just say it like E, you know, it's very kind of pointy. But when you sing it with an O shape, so E and E, it tends to get a different color, different timbre, you know. It definitely helps you reach higher notes, definitely, and it just gives you a different quality. So depending on the song, that's what you would want to do sometimes. And he's choosing that approach here, which I find beautiful. And now opening the mouth. Still kind of operatic. Now going into head voice there. And I'm gonna shut up now. This time singing it a bit more beltier. Ooh. So that was a perfect mixed voice there. First time he was singing it in head voice, you know, but this time it's definitely a mix. It has way more energy and he's still reaching those notes. So, ooh, this is something that not many singers can pull off, but Dimash obviously can. And kind of a R&B run. Okay, just for a second, I'm gonna stop it again. I'm sorry for pausing. I know that some of you really don't like when I pause it like this, but I mean, what's the point of making these videos if I'm not going to talk a bit about it? I really try to talk after I pause them, but sometimes I just need to say it in the moment so you can understand better. Sometimes I go back, you know, I don't do it always the same, but I'm trying my best to make it as digestible for everybody as I can. There's one thing that I kind of wanted to ask of you, if you would be so kind, is it has something to do with the thing that I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Now, with everything happening in Ukraine and everything, it reminded me of a song that I wrote about 6-7 years ago, and I've actually posted it not that long ago on my YouTube channel. I would be so honored if you would go and listen to the song. It's an original song. It has something to do with the war that my country was in about 27 years ago. That war was just ending when I was born, and if you have about 3 minutes spare in your life, it will mean the world to me if you go and listen to it and maybe leave some thoughts. It's not a very hard song to sing. It's not even technically very difficult. I'm actually playing it on a guitar, which is not my main instrument at all. So listen to it. I would really like to know your thoughts. It doesn't have too many views, so I'm actually going to know how many of you have clicked on the link, and hopefully we could maybe get that video to at least 2,000 views. That's not much. It's already on 1,000 views, so it would really, really, really mean the world to me if you click it, because, as much as I love doing reaction videos, I started my channel initially when I just started it so I can promote my songs. And so far, I haven't posted many of them because I kind of fear posting my own songs, because they're a personal part of me. It's like letting go a part of my soul, but at the same time I want to let it out in the world. So I'm starting a bit slow with a couple of songs, but if you actually go and click the link that was above my head or the one in the description, that will just make me post more songs and hopefully interact with you more about more personal stuff, which I really want to take this channel to. I really wouldn't like our relationship only to end on Dimash reaction, so And of course, thank you to everybody that's going to check it out. Let's continue listening to this song. Oh, now singing it full belt. Damn. Whew. Mother. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say right now? Like, what the heck? So, Dimash is going to be, at one point, the world's most paid artist. And I've said it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. This guy, as long as he continues having this, like, vocal training routine, if he doesn't stop working on himself, this guy doesn't have any limits. Like, I always think that, okay, I finally heard everything that Dimash can do. And he always surprises me. It's like freaking, it's almost like I'm getting mad at him at this point. So, I don't know how to speak anymore. This guy with his angel soprano head voice, where is that part? And the instrumental, I mean, everybody working with Dimash, thank you for existing. And these soprano notes, I mean, these are notes that real sopranos, opera sopranos are struggling with. They are very high and very, 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 very hard to reach. Not only because they're high, but it's very hard to maintain this breath support while singing them. It's like super crazy. And yet this guy makes it seem effortless. I mean, it's not effortless. It's very hard, and he's always working on himself. I imagine that Dimash is like practicing at least 4 or 5 hours a day. I think maybe I'm over exaggerating because he's up to a point where he's very good, so maybe he can spare half an hour here or there. But still, I'm sure that he practices a lot. There's people that think like this is talent. I mean, what is talent? To me, talent is only the ability to how fast you can learn something. Basically, there are people that maybe can learn some things a bit better than you, quicker than you. But all in all, these are things that everybody can learn. It's just that not all of us are going to put in the hours, and maybe none of us are going to know the exact way to work it. That's why Dimash is actually kind of very secretive when it comes to his technique. At least that's what I've heard, that he doesn't really want to talk about his technique and about his vocal training in interviews, which I would really love to talk with him and to just pick apart, at least get a couple of things that he's doing. I mean, I understand quite a lot, but still, there are some things that are just so crazy how he does them so effortlessly, and the transitions that he does. You can't, in some points, you almost can't even hear the difference between mix and belt because he's blending them so well. This ending was definitely all chest voice, just perfect belts, but there were transitions that felt so natural that it's almost I need to re-listen. I really need to listen like this to hear them. And to a casual singer, I mean, you're not even thinking about it. Just think about it like this. Listen to his range. I mean, let's be real. Anybody else who would try to attempt to sing this song would probably butcher it. And you would definitely hear the differences between the registers there because none of us are at this level, or at least I don't know many singers that are, that could attempt this big of a range and make it sound so clean in every single part of it. Just a masterful performance. I'm going to stop there. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like them, share it around. It's very hard growing a YouTube channel, and honestly, I could do more posting my reactions to many different places online, but honestly, sometimes I don't have time, and I'm always thinking that I need to make a newsletter, like a list of emails, because what happens if YouTube stops existing? I mean, that's probably not going to happen, but what happens if YouTube doesn't suggest my videos as it used to? I mean, I think that's kind of happening already, maybe. I would like to have a list of everybody interested in my videos and just to email you. Hey, here's the new video, check it out if you want. And it would be as simple as that. So I'm probably going to make an email list, and let me know if you would be interested in that. I really need to learn how to do that. I'm kind of stupid sometimes. Oh, man, I really need your help sometimes. So please share these videos around, like them, comment, and let me know what else you would like to see on this channel. And if you would like to support the channel a bit and see these videos for anybody else and also get into out to some amazing perks, check out my Patreon page because that's where everything is happening. And what can I say? Thanks so much for being here. You look wonderful. This was an amazing song, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.